Yeah, I just pushed record.
So how about I kick us off with a welcome and then we'll begin. So thank you all for joining us. We have students from our various fabulous, significant universities here to talk to us this evening about what it's like to be students on our campuses. Excuse me. But before we get started in that, and this is going to be free flowing, so the students will be asked a few questions, they'll answer them, and as they feel best. And then if you have other questions, just feel free to put it into the chat and we'll take it from there. So let us begin, shall we? With the first slide where we just go and begin to introduce ourselves.
I think I'm first up. Yes.
Yeah.
Good day, everyone, and thank you for spending a little bit of your time in joining us today. My name is Mike, and I am one of the assistant directors for international admissions here at Purdue University. If you haven't heard about Purdue, we are a top 10 public university and the land-grant institution of Indiana, located in a small college town called West Lafayette. If you're unfamiliar where that is, we are about 2 hours south of Chicago and an hour north of Indianapolis. We are a pretty big campus with over 45,000 students coming from all 50 states and 130 different countries. We are a top destination for international students when it comes to STEM disciplines, with about 20% of our total enrollment being international students. Some points of pride include being known as the cradle of astronauts, with actually that number right there is outdated. It's actually 26 now. We have 26 alumni, alumnus astronauts, which includes Neil Armstrong, the first person to walk on the moon, as well as Eugene Cernan, the most recent man on the moon. We also established the first ever computer science department in the US and have award-winning faculty, which includes Amelia Earhart and a couple of professors getting the Nobel Prize and Food Prize laureates. As you can see in the screen, we are ranked in a lot of the 200 plus majors that we offer. I'm not going to go through all of them, but ultimately, we do hope that you find the right university for your needs and fit. And I hope that you take advantage of this session to learn more about our great universities. But I will now pass it on to Catherine to talk about Rutgers.
Thank you, Mike. My name is Catherine Charlton, and I represent Rutgers University. We were founded in 1766, so we're the 8th oldest university in America and one of 9 original colonial colleges. This tradition of academic excellence led to Rutgers becoming the land-grant university in New Jersey, thus becoming the State University of New Jersey, making it not only one of the best returns on investment in the US, but the premier public university in New Jersey and #1 public university in the New York, New Jersey metropolitan region. We have about 36,000 undergraduates on our New Brunswick campus, which is the flagship campus, over 140 majors, 160 plus student organizations, state-of-the-art facilities, research opportunities for our undergraduates. And like all, you're going to hear from all of us, we have amazing alumni throughout the world. We are on campus a buzzy, diverse place, and our students are academically focused, politically astute, and committed to community service and social justice. We're also conveniently located by public transportation to New York City, Philadelphia, and Newark International Airport. But you don't need to hear any of this from me, all right? You can Google all of that if you wanted, because what's going to happen as you hear from all the students, you're going to meet students who will share with you their experiences and no doubt give you a flavor for all of our institutions just by virtue of what they have to share. And now I hand the baton over to my colleague from, I don't know what slide's next.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go, Ken, it's off to you.
All right, thank you. My name is Ken McCaig. I'm the Associate Director of International Admissions here at the University of Florida. So University of Florida is a large place. It's a large land, space, and sea grant institution. We're located in Gainesville. It's a medium-sized city in north central Florida. So we're approximately a 2-hour drive from the 3 major metro areas of Tampa, Orlando, and Jacksonville. So UF is one of the oldest institutions in the state of Florida, and we are the only state of Florida member of the prestigious Association of American Universities. So I think I mentioned we were big. We have about 55,000 students, 95% of which do reside here on the main campus in Gainesville. Of that 55,000, about 35,000 are undergraduates, and 16,000 are graduates, and the remainder make up our online community. We have about 7,000 international students from 140 different countries, 1,000 of which are at the freshman and transfer level. So we offer over 120 undergraduate majors across 16 colleges, 200 graduate majors, the five professional programs of dentistry, law, medicine, pharmacy, and veterinary studies. So we have over 1,000 student organizations, over double that amount as far as intramural sports teams. So I always like to say it's the opportunity to not only find your own community, but experience many others as well. So just real quick, our application deadline is coming up in 11 short days. It's November 1st. We use either the Common or Coalition app. The SAT or ACT is a Florida State requirement. The December 5th test would be the last exam eligible for fall admission. All of our freshman applicants are automatically considered for our merit-based partial tuition scholarships. They're very competitive. We have about 25 a year to give, and they're in increments of 8, 10, and 20,000 annually. Finally, yes, Gatorade was invented here, and we do have live alligators on campus, so no swimming. Thanks.
Great, and this is a slide for the University of Georgia. I am not a representative of Georgia, but our colleague from Georgia wasn't able to join us for the live session, but you will be hearing from a great student from Georgia. So feel free to take a screenshot of this, get some really great information about the University of Georgia, and stay tuned for more information from our student panelists today. And I'm pleased to introduce you all to the University of Missouri. My name is Shannon O'Hagan, and I work in our Office of International Admissions. Our nickname is Mizzou, and our mascot is the Bengal tiger. We are located centrally in the US, so if you're not familiar, we are gold on the state map there. And then we're located centrally within the state of Missouri in the college town of Columbia, Missouri, which is consistently rated among the top college towns in the US. Academically at Mizzou, we have 300 degree programs from bachelor's through PhD. So there's a lot of different options for what you can study, including about 100 undergraduate degree programs. There's lots of options to take some interdisciplinary coursework and get involved in things like research, student competition group, study abroad programs. In fact, that's really a big part of our experience at Mizzou. Our approach to learning is what we call the Missouri method, and that means learning by doing. So you're going to have opportunities to really get engaged beyond the classroom, both through your coursework and through those experiential learning opportunities. At Mizzou, we do have a vibrant student life experience with more than 600 student clubs and organizations. And I certainly encourage you to ask questions of our student representative here today, Mustafa, who's really taken advantage of a lot of the opportunities available to get the most out of your degree experience. And with that, I will go ahead and pass it along to Katie to wrap things up on intros.
Thanks, Shannon. Hi, everybody. I'm Katie Dunnigan. I'm an Assistant Director of International Recruitment at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Our campus was founded in 1848, which is the same year that Wisconsin became a state. So we are the oldest and largest public institution in the state of Wisconsin. As you can see from the slide, our campus has a unique location. We are nestled between two lakes. We are 5 blocks from our state capital. And so we have a long history of activism and engagement. We have students from 120 different countries, all 50 states. We make our own ice cream on campus, and every year, or I should say next year, we will have a new chancellor and they will get to make an ice cream flavor of their choosing. So stay tuned to see what that is. We are test optional through spring 2023. In terms of academics, we're probably best known for our School of Business and our College of Engineering, which are both ranked in the top 15, but we are overall in the top 30 universities in the world. And we have a full working farm on our campus. We are an agricultural state, and so we have a number of unique disciplines that are focused on agriculture to give back to our community. We believe in something called the Wisconsin Idea, which is that we hope our students come and engage in learning, but we want them to take what they have learned in the classroom and apply it beyond the 4 walls. And they can do that in a variety of different ways, through undergraduate research, through volunteer work, through study abroad, and like I said, student activism. Our campus has a significant history of being active in social justice. I will also highlight that we are a 4-season state. So I know students come from all over the world. They're a little bit nervous about the winter, but we have a lot of really fun activities to make you feel comfortable and at home. And with that, I think we'll transition to the student intros.
Katie, I just want to ask you a quick question. You mentioned that Madison is surrounded by water. Would that be on an isthmus? I'm just wondering.
I believe that's what the geographic term is. Yes, Catherine.
Okay, I'm just trying to see if you'd say it, but no, you won't. So let's switch over to the students now. It's a running joke for Wisconsin and Rutgers, these things. So let's jump over to the students. Would each of you take a moment and we're going to go through a lot of fun things here, and I'm going to ask you some various questions, but let's just go around really quickly and then let's jettison the slides, I think. To introduce, your name and where you attend university, and maybe where you're from, your state or your home country, because some of you might not be international students, some of you might be domestic students. So let's just have a quick, where you go, where you're from, and your name, and maybe what year you are and what your major is. Okay, I've thrown a few more things in there. Who wants to start? Let's start with Purdue.
Hi guys, my name is Ramya. I'm a junior from Rochester Hills, Michigan. It's Metro Detroit area. I'm currently studying brain and behavioral sciences with a minor in human resources management. And a fun fact about me is that pasta is my favorite food.
Excellent. I like pasta too. So with that, let's go. Let's just go in the order of the introductions. Let's go to Adrika from Rutgers.
Hi, I'm Advika. I'm in the Rutgers Business School. I'm a marketing and BAIT major. For those of you who don't know, BAIT is business analytics and information technology. I'm from India, so I'm an international student. And a fun fact about me is that this is my first event like this, so I'm super excited.
We are too. Okay, now, who was next? Oh, Florida. Come on, Florida. Oscar, tell us about yourself.
My voice is a little sore, but I'll do my best. My name is Oscar. I'm from Norway, and I'm a freshman finance major at the University of Florida.
All right, and that's it. That was so brief. Are you super excited too, Oscar?
Super excited, yeah.
Okay, excellent. Phew. Okay, now, wait, we have another Florida. Yeah, go for it, Melia.
Hi, my name is Mila. I'm a sophomore here at the University of Florida. I am from Sweden, and I'm a criminology major and a sociology minor. And a fun fact about me is that this is not the first time I've done this international student panel. So I'm kind of like familiar with it, but yeah.
And it was exciting the same last time as it is this time, right?
Yes, but there were more people then, like actual people.
Well, yeah, I know. Well, but anyway, we just don't know how this is going to unfold. So let's keep going with it. All right, now after Florida came Georgia. So who's my student from Georgia?
Hello, everyone.
Wendell.
My name is Wendell Stallings. I'm from the University of Georgia. I'm a second year majoring in real estate, and I'm from the United States. I'm not an international student, but one of the fun facts about me is that I have 8 siblings, and I'm the oldest.
Wendell, I have 6 siblings and I'm the youngest.
Wow.
We'll compare notes later. Okay. All right. Well, all righty. Now let's go. After Georgia, it was Missouri. So we got Mustafa. Talk to us.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mustafa, and I'm representing Mizzou. I'm currently a senior majoring in information technology. I am an international student. I'm from Saudi Arabia, and one fact about me is that I'm currently bilingual. I speak Arabic and English on my way to being trilingual. I'm learning Spanish, so we'll get there one day.
Excellent. All right. So that concludes the quick round fire introduction. Now, I'm not going to do this in any particular order. I would like the students just to sort of go like, okay, I got something to add to that. So here's what I want to start you off with. What was your biggest challenge that you faced as a new student at your university? And it could be that you were from out of state, it could be that you were from just down the block, it could be that you're an international student, but what was the biggest challenge that you faced when you first arrived? And you may consider that, that lens. I want to expand it a little bit further. It might not just be geographically where you're from. It might also be that maybe you're the first in your family to attend a university or something like that. So like whatever it is that you brought to it, what was your biggest challenge? Don't make me pick on somebody. Somebody go first.
Can I go first?
Yeah.
Okay, so the biggest challenge I faced is that everyone else, like when I first started, I started in fall 2020, and that's when the COVID-19 issue was happening, and all the visas were like, they were taking forever to give us visas, and my visa took 5 months to be stamped on my passport, and that had me do the first semester of my college at home back in Sweden. So I had a 6 hours difference. And that was very exhausting. And everyone else who started like their freshman year either started meeting people in the fall, but then I came here in the spring and I felt like I wouldn't have any friends, or it would be very hard to get involved, or I wouldn't like recognize anyone. But then it ended up being like fine, because I started meeting friends and I made friends, and it wasn't that bad. But that's like the biggest challenge that I faced as like a freshman, like last year.
Great, thank you. Who else would like to address that challenge?
So I had a challenge. I'm an out-of-state student, so when I came to Purdue, I did not know one single person who was going to be attending that school, and I was really, really scared because, like, not only did I not know anybody, but I was also coming from a different state, so I was worried that like things would be a little bit different. But I tell this on all my tours. Well, I joined the orientation program, and it was so amazing. Like, it made me all the friends that I have today. Even the people I'm living with currently are people who I've met through that program. So it actually took me a little bit to join it because I was nervous. I didn't know like if I would have fun in it. So I'm really glad that I took that step to joining that program. It's called Boiler Gold Rush, but really glad that I took that step to join that program and then step out of my comfort zone and make all the friends that I have today.
Great, thank you. Who else would like to go?
Yes, I'd like to jump in there. I'm a first generation college student, so I going through this process for the first time in my family was definitely a challenge. I think that one of the biggest challenges that I had was when I first came on campus, just me almost getting kicked out of school because I didn't know about the financial process and things like that. I think just me trying to understand the process and me trying to understand which questions to ask, because I think that's very important, to understanding the questions to ask and not knowing that process. I think being able to, once I figured out that there was a problem, being able to just go to, the faculty that we have here and go to people that I had trusted at that time to be able to help me through that process and walk me through that process. I think that's what was there to help me overcome that challenge of financials and things like that. And just being, just having those resources there for me, that was definitely a challenge. It was very scary for me as well. Just like being on the verge of, having my dreams come to an end so quickly. I think that being able to push through that was definitely something that I pride myself on.
Well done, Wendell. Mustafa, do you want to chime in?
Yeah, so I actually came to Mizzou in the fall of 2018, so like 2 years before COVID. So my experience was a little bit easier and different than Mila's, who actually came right when COVID started. But I just want to say that, whether you're a domestic student from another state, a first generation student, or an international student from a whole different country, we all face challenges. Not every day is sunshine. You may have some tough days, some bad days, especially with COVID. So as long as you take the initiative to fix whatever issue you're having, So like when I first came to Mizzou, I was also under the impression that it's going to be really hard for me to like friends, make connections, and really just fit. I just initiative of just reaching out to people, clubs, organizations of Mizzou, and I got into so many clubs and friendships. So my main point being is, as long as you take the initiative, I'm sure you'll be fine and you can solve your issue.
Great, thank you. And last but not least, Vika.
Yeah, so going off what Mustafa said, it's definitely a challenge being away from home. So that was one of my things, just missing my family and the way things used to be, obviously. But he's right. The best way to overcome that is to just like reach out to people, talk to people in your class, make friends, join organizations, basically just get involved so that you don't feel it as much.
Excellent. All righty. So now I want to shift gears a little bit from challenges to what's been the most remarkable thing you've experienced at your university? And you can run the gamut with this. There are no rules. So what would you say has been the most remarkable thing you've seen, done, experienced, want to share, have written letters about? Go for it. Anyone can go.
I can
I
go.
can. Go ahead.
All right. So I just want to say, so Columbia being a college town and all, so a big part, I won't say the whole town, but like a really big part of Columbia is related to Mizzou or is about Mizzou. And everybody in Columbia, from students to, elderly people, alumni who come back, especially for our homecoming, where we have alumni come back. It's really amazing to see how everybody just lives the Mizzou life, just and never let the Mizzou tradition and spirit die down. I feel like everybody really carries Mizzou in their hearts and they're really like enthusiastic about it. And that's something very refreshing. I find it very refreshing and amusing because it doesn't just end when you leave class or, exit the campus. It's really like you see all throughout the town that everybody just is about Mizzou in this town.
Kendall, you were going to say something earlier. You wanted to hop in now?
Yeah, sure. I kind of have some of the same sentiments about UGA. I definitely think that the community here on campus and outside of campus is definitely something that I've grown to love. Coming in COVID, I didn't know how much I could get involved here and how much things I could do here and things like that. But I was really able to find a community here. I think that that's one of the biggest things that is so big here on campus. It's just like a very inviting campus. I think that being able to have the opportunity to go out in the Athens community where we're located, and being able to just talk with people outside of campus and talk with people on campus and trying to make an impact on and off campus. I think that's been one of the biggest things that stood out to me being on campus and just having the support of people. I've had a bunch of support just with things that when I'm doing good, having that support, and when I'm feeling bad or anything like that, having that support. I think that's been one of the biggest things that I've been able to come back to and kind of ground myself in when I'm feeling alone or feeling like I want to go back home or things like that. That's been one of the things that I've really been able to enjoy here.
Terrific, thank you. Who wants to go next? I'm happy to. Yeah,
I got something to say. So, Purdue is in the Midwest, like region of the United States, and the Midwest is known for being really kind, really nice. And one of the most remarkable things that I have like noticed is that people who come from regions outside of the Midwest are genuinely surprised when people are just nice to them, when they like hold doors open. When I was an orientation leader and one of my students was from Maryland, and he was genuinely surprised that when he said out loud that he was hungry, that somebody offered him a granola bar. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't even think about that kind of stuff, you know, like that daily small things, like smiling at people that you pass on the street, you know, holding the door open, that sort of deal, sharing your food. It's just like remarkable that it comes so naturally to everybody here, and that our community is just like really kind, and it helps make your day brighter every time you're here. So
I like that. I'm from the Midwest originally. So yeah, we're nice. But then you go to New Jersey. Come on, Adrika, talk to us about the edginess on the East Coast.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, the life's a lot more fast paced here, so people don't really hold doors all that much, but you know, we try. Yeah, so it's actually really nice. Again, it's a really good community, lots of clubs and organizations going on over here. And people like they're really welcoming, and in that sense of, you know, they want you to get involved and they want you to like really do your best. One of the things that I really enjoyed while being at Rutgers was some of the classes have a very hands-on type of learning. So they have like simulations and like real world examples and real world interactions where you actually are in the position that you would probably be in a few years from now, and you're actually, you know, learning it through doing it.
Excellent. And last but not least on this round, Florida. Do scissors, paper, rocks, who's going to talk first from you, but what's been the most remarkable thing about your university that you've experienced as a student?
I suppose I can speak. I've only been here for like 2 months so far, but it's like everyone's been nice, and like some other mentioned, or some of the other people also mentioned, the school spirit is just remarkable. Like people have license plates with the Florida Gators, all that, all the alumni coming back on game day, all of that. It's a fun experience.
Nyla, do you want to add anything to what Oscar just said?
No, I mean, I do agree with them, like, and everyone is so nice, like all the advisors, all the professors, like so far I've had a positive experience. Every time I need something, I can just like email the person who's in charge, and they would like go above and beyond to help me, which is something I really appreciate, because as an international student, you don't know many people like here, and having that support system is really nice sometimes, like, yeah.
Excellent. So it's really interesting to hear all of you describe that, because I think the assumption oftentimes about large state research universities is that, you know, we're not nice, that we're cold, we just make you get on with stuff. It's all too many people and not enough, you know, support. But you have all debunked that without even being asked to debunk a myth. So well done. One thing I didn't ask you earlier, and I'd like to get a bit of a handle on this, is how did you choose the university that you're attending? What were the sort of the metrics that went into your thinking about what you were looking for? And it might be that you wanted to be, I don't know, in a city on an isthmus, Katie, or you wanted to be, you know, who knows what it was, or maybe it was, you know, it just spoke to you. But what was it that spoke to you? Because I think a lot of times people don't quite know how to go about making a choice. So what was it that made you decide to go where you selected? Again, go for it.
I could go first. So one of the main reasons why I chose Rutgers was its location. Like it's in the tri-state area, so you're close to you're really accessible to like New York and Pennsylvania, where a lot of the corporate and other industries are set up. So in that sense, and like you know, career-wise, it's a really good choice. Besides that, I feel like Rutgers in itself is a very like globally welcoming community, because there are so many international students. So you don't really feel that transition as much. Like you always find someone who is from your cultural background, or, you know, who has similar interests as you.
Who else wants to tackle that one?
Yeah.
I can go. Is no one else going? I can go. All right. So I took like different factors into consideration when I chose I chose UF, but mainly I chose it because it was my top choice because of the ranking and because of it's a very research-based institute, and that's like really good, especially when you're considering maybe professional school, because I am kind of considering going to law school after I finish my undergrad, and doing research is very beneficial when you're applying because schools tend to look at that, and also the ranking, the amount of international students and the location. I really wanted to be in a school in Florida because of the weather. I don't like winter. I don't like snow. And here it's like 30 plus degrees all the time. Not all the time. It's getting colder right now, but I do prefer like warmer weather. And that's something that I also like looked at. But yeah, it was like different factors that I like weighed this, like I put it on a piece of paper and looked at, oh, this school has those, this school has those, which is better, and went with the best, I guess.
Wendell, I think you were going to say something a moment ago, weren't you?
Yeah, I'll jump in there. One of the things that I like to always start this question off with is that I was on a tour with another school. It wasn't Georgia, but the tour guide, he told me, and it always has stuck with me, to find a school that fits you instead of finding a school that you fit into. So I think that's something that I definitely try to really think about as I was going through my process. I think that, you know, there's this weekend that we have here at University of Georgia where you're able to talk with students. I did it virtually, but it's usually where the students be able to come on campus and they come inside of the dorms, and we'll like take them around the campus and things like that. But since I was in the COVID year, we did it virtually, and I was able to speak with a bunch of students and have that conversation, and just that warm, inviting welcome, and just being able to talk with them one-on-one about anything. Nothing was off the table. I think that kind of helped me visualize myself into coming to the school because, you know, before I made my decision, I had never came to University of Georgia, and I'm pretty sure that for international students that, you know, the school that they're going to go to, they've never stepped foot on campus either. So I think having that school reach out to me was very surprising, and I really like that initiative, being able to have students talk to me and have that experience and kind of get to know like, hey, what is it like being on campus, and asking questions and being able to have that experience without being on campus, and just, you know, having that experience, and then also just, you know, having the overall big school experience, you know, having the football games here and things like that. I think that's a great opportunity to go to. If you haven't been to any football games, it's an electric stadium here, and it's a great place to be on Saturdays as well. So that was always a great ticket item that I loved as well.
Excellent, thank you. Ramya, you want to tell us your thoughts on that question?
Yeah, so I chose Purdue. Well, actually, my dad made me apply here because I didn't know about it before. And then we took a tour, and the first thing I noticed was just how beautiful campus was. It was like, I really enjoyed being there, and I felt as though I could see myself walking around. I could see myself going to class, and it felt like I could never get tired of what campus really looked like. And then another thing that I always talk about is the walkability of campus was really nice. So Purdue is 1 mile across, so you don't ever get tired when you're walking places. Other schools I was looking at, they were like double the size of Purdue, triple the size of Purdue, like land area wise. And it was like people would be taking like 45 minutes to walk to class. And personally, I'm not very athletic, and I could never see myself taking that long out of my day to walk places. So the size of Purdue itself was something that really drew me to it. And then just like how Wendell said, like, we're a Big Ten school, so our school spirit is out of this world. We have so much fun on game days. Actually, I got this hat for free at the volleyball game last night. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. And yeah, it's really that community all coming together on game days that, oh, it's I can't even explain how much I love it, but yeah, definitely the walkability, the beauty, and the spirit of Purdue.
Excellent. We've got two gentlemen left to answer this question, Oscar and Mustafa. So one of you go and then the other one answer after that.
I'll go. So coming to college, I was really indecisive about my major because I went from, you know, psychology, English, aerospace engineering, and eventually ended up with IT. But you know, there's a long list that has more majors than that. And I had a couple of names on the list for universities, but then as I kept switching from major to major to major, you know, some names just kept falling off the list as they wouldn't have it or they would have a weak program for that major. And then eventually Mizzou was the only one standing that I was convinced of. And then also being able to hear about alumni who, so I ended up majoring in IT, and then I heard about alumni that majored in IT at Mizzou and then went on to work for big companies such as like Apple, Google, Facebook, and all these like big companies in the industry. That was something very inspiring to me. And then Mizzou also felt like a real, you know, like a real program to me, as in the sense that it's not just a bunch of classes put together, but it's actually like real life opportunities that you can do, you know, whether it's like internships, research, like it never ends. Like if you want to keep going in school, you can definitely keep going in Mizzou. So that was it for the school part. But then also in my mind, I was also looking for a real college experience. So not only classes, but also like a real college experience in the sense of like big campus, a lot of students, you know, a big like school spirit. So Mizzou is actually in the SEC, and people in this town take football really seriously. And then football games on a Saturday are always an experience, especially homecoming. And then a fun fact is that the #1 wide receiver in the country just committed to Mizzou 2 nights ago. So that makes for a really exciting next year. But then that was, you know, once I actually stepped foot on campus and took a tour, I just knew. I was like, you know, this is the one. And then sometimes if you're unsure, you get that feeling and you're like, yep, this is the one. And that's what happened with me in Mizzou. And I think it was the right choice. So I'm glad I did.
Excellent. Thank you. Oscar, what about you? How did you make your choice?
Yeah, well, first of all, I've been to Florida, or I had been to Florida previously a bunch of times with my family, so I kind of had a connection to Florida already. But in addition to that, I looked through the websites of different schools. And I just really like what I saw about the finance possibilities at UF, because that's my major. And also, kind of agreeing with what Milo said, I don't like cold weather, so Florida's a good match for that. And as Mustafa said, I also wanted that college experience combined with good academics. So with the football, big school, all that, all played part in my decision.
Excellent. Thank you. So you all go to places that you love, and we all love them because we work for them. And we also know there's some similarities for all of them. And then there's some great distinguishing differences, which you all have touched on. So I guess what I'm wondering now, because many of you led us into this next question, is what sort of student activities are you currently involved in? And that might be internships, clubs, leadership positions, research. I don't care, have at it, because we know we've all got them. So what are the things that you're doing that you're like, you know, writing home about, going, oh, you cannot believe I've just joined the chess club, or whatever it is. So whoever wants to kick us off on that one. Oh, and yeah, let's go in reverse order. Oscar, let's start with you this time, because you keep coming in sort of last. Let's have you kick this one off.
Yeah, sure, I'll start. Well, currently I'm a member of the Student Investment Club and the Student Finance Group. And I'm on the finance committee of the Warrington Book Club, which is the business schools book club, kind of. So I kind of hold presentations for the rest of the club about like trying to relate what we read back to like current events in the market. And also I'm involved in this, it's not a club, it's not a class, but it's this kind of program that's kind of like a feeder into this combined master's degree. So I'm in that, and they just help prepare us for like kind of experiences we should have on our resumes, how to build our resumes, all that.
Excellent, thank you. Who wants to go next?
I can go next.
Mustafa.
Okay. So this summer, I had an internship with a company called Y'all Love Play. It's based in Texas. I was supposed to go there, but it was remote because of the COVID restrictions. But it's a mobile game development company that I was able to intern for. I currently serve as a teaching assistant for fundamentals of network technology. I'm also an international student ambassador here at Mizzou. I'm also the president of the Saudi student organization here at Mizzou, and I'm also a member of Autism Speaks here at Mizzou. So, there's a lot of things I do, and whatever it is you like, I feel like Mizzou or whatever school you decide to go to will have them, and that you can build up your resume with things that you actually like to do and take part in.
Excellent. Who wants to go next on that one?
I can go. Okay, so I'm involved in a few things, and I'm planning on getting involved in other things as well. Right now, I'm involved in this club called the Pre-Legal Honor Society, which is a club that focuses on like different aspects of the law. We have events, like we invite law professors or like prosecutors, lawyers from all over the country, and they speak about their experiences. Also, this club has this mock trial team, which is I'm on. Right now I'm serving as a prosecutor, and we basically have this like mock trial. And yeah, a different club I'm involved in, it's called like First Generation Lawyers, and it's basically like a club that helps you with the process of applying to law school in case you're interested in that. There are also different clubs, like they're random clubs and they're professional clubs that everyone can join. In addition to that, I'm planning on doing some research maybe next semester with a professor I'm taking a class with. And I'm planning maybe on doing an internship, because at least for criminology students, we have like a specific class for internship where you can intern at like different locations or like one location and end up with that experience that you can like put on your resume.
You all are so interesting. Keep it coming. Who's next? Who's going to talk to me next about what you're up to?
I can go. So I'm very involved on campus. Currently, I'm in like multiple mentor programs. So like as the mentor or as the mentee, I just joined like the psychology graduate school program. So I get to work with another grad student who, can show me the ropes on how to apply to grad school and how to do all of that sort of deal. I'm a member of the orientation program, so I love welcoming people in. I'm also a campus tour guide. Something that's really cool is we have something called a Psych 390 class, which is built right into your schedule, and it's basically just working in a research lab. So I've been in 3 of those. So I have been able to be a part of the research lab, work in it, meet outside of class, that sort of deal, and then also get a grade for that, while also getting experience for being in the research labs, which are really cool. I'm in psychology ones, obviously, but that's something that I tell my family about all the time. I'm also in many like mental wellness clubs, like we're training for suicide prevention. We're making something called the support network to really just share support with the entire student body, that sort of deal. And I'm also in a few pediatric cancer research fundraising clubs. So like the dance marathon, and then one of my friend's personal clubs. So yeah, many things around the mental health awareness sort of deal.
You're a busy young woman. So Advika, what about you? What are you involved in?
Yeah, so again, lots of things going on, and most of them are relatively new, because while I was in India during the pandemic, I couldn't be as involved. So I really wanted to make the most of this year. So I'm a part of Rutgers Enactus, which is a social entrepreneurship club, and we have different projects going on that basically help the community, you know, become more empowered and, you know, help solve community problems. And besides that, I'm a part of RCG, which is the Rutgers Consulting Group. So I'm a part of their Insights newsletter. So we analyze market situations and like talk about the business market and basically write a newsletter about what's going on in the business world. And I'm also a part of the Rutgers Business Governance Association. So I've recently been voted in as the senior representative for RBS. So I'm pretty excited about that. And I'm also a part of the Rutgers Global Advisory Committee. So basically it's like a group of students who plan events for the international students on campus, and not just international, honestly, it can be all students, but you know, we try to focus on more inclusive themes for that.
Excellent, thanks. And Wendell, last but not least on this round.
Yes, ma'am. So a couple of things I'm involved in is I'm involved in a mentor program called GAME. It's the Georgia African American Male Experience. Last year I was a scholar, and this year I'm an ambassador. And this was a very cool program where I was able to get that support and get the fundamentals and coming on campus and being able to navigate the classroom and being able to, you know, have that support to be able to help me with my academics. And then this year, we have like things going on that we didn't have going on last year. This year, we were able to meet some faculty and staff to kind of help us on some things. And we had like a cool little night get together with our peers. And then I'm also involved in the community council. I'm president for community council. It's just where basically an organization where I'm there to advocate for my residents. I have 1,200 residents in my community, and so we host events. Just last night we hosted a movie event, so that was really cool. Out in our quad, and just having like little things like that to help bring together the community and also advocate for our residents. It's been a big game changer for me, just being able to hear other students' perspectives and get like what other students are going through and how I can help them. That's been very eye-opening for me as well. And it's been a great leadership opportunity for me. And then also I'm a part of Mind Blowers. This is where we go out into the Athens like surrounding area here. And we help out in the Boys and Girls Club. It's an afternoon program for middle schoolers. And we teach them things that are not taught in school, like entrepreneurship, things like how to build resumes, things like how to take notes in class. It's just like certain things that that's not necessarily taught in the classroom. So I really love doing that and giving back to the surrounding area here. Then one of my biggest things I'm doing is I'm an intern in the undergraduate admissions office. And so that's been good, being able to talk with parents, being able to talk with prospective students, and being able to do events and things like that. It's been great. Just being able to be surrounded by a lot of people who are interested in coming to Georgia.
Excellent, thank you. You all are amazing. I don't know how you have enough hours in your day, quite honestly. So, oh, to be younger. Listen, we're on the sort of tail end of things, and I just want to ask you all to. Well, there's going to be two more questions. So the next one really is pretty simple. And Wendell, I'm going to ask you to kick us off because you already started it by saying that you work in the admissions office. We're all admissions reps. We get a lot of questions. We sometimes joke about some of the questions we get. Sometimes the questions are really, they're hard to answer. And oftentimes we start off with the answer of, well, it depends based on what it means to study in the US. So for each of you, what advice would you offer up to an international student? Because that's the audience for this right now. So it might even be a US passport holder who's never really even lived in the States. But think about your friends, your colleagues, what you've observed on campus, your own experience, and what advice would you offer an international student considering studying anywhere in the USA? Wendell, we're starting with you.
Yeah, that's a great question. I would definitely say to start your process early, to start thinking about it early. I definitely know that there can be a lot of bumps in the road. So I would definitely say to start preparing for that early. To ask questions. We're here in the office. We're ready to receive your questions as well. So ask questions. We have a lot of FAQ features on our website as well. Those are things that you can definitely use to help you throughout the process. I think that one of the biggest things, just as a student perspective, it's just trying to connect with students on campus. I know, like I said earlier, I was able to connect with students before I came to UGA. Being able to connect with students, I think that's a great way into knowing, what kind of school that you want to go to, and knowing if this school is, can be a good fit for you and things like that. I think that, just being able to connect with people, you're not alone in this process. So just know that you do have the support, and that we're all willing to help you get through this process and help you come and achieve your dreams and achieve your goals of coming and achieving higher education.
Luck following that answer, gang. That was excellent, Wendell. Thank you. So who else wants to add something to sort of like what advice you would offer?
I think I could just add on to what Wendell said about asking questions. Seriously, asking questions is probably the most important thing you can do, because anything that like you have a question about, we want to answer it for you. Anybody who's working with admissions wants to answer these questions for you, because it's what we love doing. So I would definitely say, like, if you're on the fence about asking, I know it can be really you can get really anxious when you have to like raise your hand in front of a room, or even if you just have to email somebody. Completely understand that, but I would seriously like take the step, ask the question, and no question is a dumb question. Seriously, like anything, I would love to answer it. So I'm sure everybody else would too.
Excellent. Anybody else want to add anything to these amazing top tips?
I'll add something. But yeah, definitely about the questions. Reaching out to people would also help you, network and like understand, the kind of people that attend the school. And you when you get there, you actually know someone, so you don't have to, you're not like looking to people as like, how do I say hi? But you actually like, someone, they can help you through this process. So that's always great. And something that's not really related to admissions really, but learn how to drive, because this is a really big country and getting around is not easy if you don't drive. So yeah.
Yeah. So first off, I just want to say, if you're watching this right now and you want to study in the US, but you're not sure if it's worth it, if it's worth all the trouble, I would just say, do it, just go for it. It's a life-changing experience. It's where in the end, you'll be a totally different person. There's a lot of growth in it. And then just like everybody said, ask questions, because, they will save you time. They will save you. They're just gonna make life easier for you. And even like, I'm a senior right now, so you would think I know a lot, but I still have questions that I have to ask on the daily, just to make sure I don't do anything wrong, or, just to make sure everything's on track. And then for Mizzou, if you just Google search Mizzou International Ambassadors, there's a page that will come up with a couple ambassadors that I'm on it. And it gives you, multiple ways you can connect with them, whether it's like a phone call, text messaging, Zoom, and you could just ask them, or you could even email them any questions you have, but just ask any questions you have. You don't have to be embarrassed about it, and there's no dumb questions.
Oscar, Mila, you want anything to what's been said?
Oh, well, I would advise to try and do everything, and like, so you have a lot of time, because I know lots of stuff can be very stressful, but as long as you just keep on working, keep on doing it, like, not in the last minute, especially in these days with COVID, especially with the visa appointments, all that. I know it can be stressful, but if you try and sorry about that, try and do everything in advance and not wait till the last minute, it will be less stressful for you.
Yeah, I would
just like to add, like planning everything in advance and having a plan, like a proper plan to follow would always like save you time. And so you know what your next step is, like especially with international students and the complication of like visa applications and everything surrounding that. Just knowing what you need to do before you need to do it saves you a lot of time and saves you a lot of days worth of anxiety, which is which is stuff like that all international students have to deal with. But knowing what you need to do saves you a lot of time. And also like asking questions. Ask any international students, any admission officers, anyone, any advisors. I don't think anyone you ask would feel mad or upset about you asking. They would actually feel happier because they would rather have a happy student than an anxious and an upset student.
Amen to that. Now, listen, we've got like 4 minutes left according to my little time clock. And I have one last question, but I'm going to couch it slightly differently than what I had written. So I was going to ask you all to tell me something amazing about your campus, but what I want to do is share the question that was asked to me one time by a prospective student, which was, tell me something about your campus that I can't find on Google. So I want you all to think about an amazing thing about your campus that we can't find on Google. And we've only got like 3 minutes left because it took me a while to ask that question. So rapid fire, folks. Who's going first? Ramya, tell us.
Okay, well, when I'm giving tours, I will say that a lot of the parents really, really like when our Starship robots come by. So those, you can definitely find it on Google, but those are robots that they're so cute. They're like little white boxes with little flags sticking out, and they come around and you can order food and then they'll come deliver it right to your res hall or right to whatever library you're studying in. And oh my gosh, I'm not kidding. You open it up and it'll be like, thank you, enjoy your food. And then it'll like wander off to wherever other food restaurant they're going to. But I personally think it's really cute. Around Halloween time, they put like big googly eyes on it. And in the winter, they actually get stuck in the snowbanks, which is kind of funny because then they'll be sitting there and they'll be chirping and they'll be like, can somebody please help me? Just kind of saying that over and over again until somebody helps them out. And yeah, I just think that those Starship robots are super cute and definitely a reason why you should come here.
All right, quickly, we got like 2 minutes left.
This is like a very little known fact, even to students, that at the UF infirmary, you can actually get free Gatorade because we made Gatorade. So you can just go there and ask for Gatorade and they would give you a lot of free Gatorade. I don't think it's on Google, but I hope it's not. But this is like something that I learned about randomly.
Somebody else?
I'll go. So at Mizzou, we have this thing called speaker circle. It's just like a circle where people speak, and there's really no telling what people, what type of signs people will have, what type of topics they'll be shouting about. But I guarantee you, if you're having a bad day and you walk by there, your day will automatically get better.
I like that. Adrika, you want to tell us something? And also, quick nod because Mike needs to know about Hot Dog Day.
Yeah, so we have a lot of different events going on. So there's like Rutgers Day and there's a Make-A-Wish Day. So we have quick events going on like that, and they're really fun to attend.
Go for it, Wendy.
Yeah, so we have a dining hall on campus called Snelling. And so after 12 o'clock a.m., they switch over all of their food to breakfast. And we like to come there and we like to go there, and we call it Snellabrating. And so if you pass the test or you did anything that you thought that was very good to celebrate for that day. You come there after 12, you get to celebrate with your friends and things like that. So it's a good place to come if you just want to get a late night snack as well.
Oscar, anything you want to add?
My voice is kind of giving out, so
Well, that's okay because our time is up as well. So I want to thank you all for your amazing contributions, your fun, your honesty, your integrity, and no wonder we're all proud of where we work because we got fabulous students like you attending our university. So thank you all very, very much, and a big shout out to you giving up your time to help other students find where they want to go as well. So thank you, and we'll catch you on the flip-flop, as they say. I just made that up. So take care, everyone.
bye.
Bye.